So I always thought with this big old beast I'd never really have a problem fitting everything into it I ever wanted to fit into it. But 4 kids, probably going to have one more before life is said and done. And all of their gear, if we want to go camping or if we want to go traveling, it doesn't all fit. And among the options I've got, obviously a roof rack isn't one of them right now. So, got me one of these. Look at all that glare. And a cargo basket, and this one's from Reese, and this one solves one of the issues I have with these, and I'll show you that as I go along. But this ought to do the trick. Give me just a little bit more space to strap some more things onto this truck. Definitely want this because we're planning on 2 weeks and actually doing some camping up there in the mountains. It's just kind of funny. I've always seen these things on the highway, seen people do this, and never thought I'd be one to do it, but now I'm actually kind of finding a need for it. Got this one on Amazon. It's from Reese. I think kind of one of the more known names in trailering stuff. But 500-pound load, I think is what it says. 60-inch by 24-inch, 5-inch high rails. Yeah, this one ought to do the trick. I did also order that cargo netting. Keep that glare off of you. Which for me, anytime I've been in a pickup, loading stuff up in a pickup, I'll secure the load with straps, throw a tarp over it, and then cargo net it. And the cargo net is really there not to hold the load, but to keep the tarp down. And the tarp obviously to protect the load. And this is if I'm doing something long distance. But yeah, so I got the whole kit and caboodle. The whole kit including this. A set of LED lights. Trailer harness for them. And then this little plate of steel, which has a U-bolt and all that goes around your hitch, which should tighten it up so it doesn't rattle while it's running. But this has been one of my big complaints about having a basket like this. People put these baskets on, and some of them don't even have reflectors on them, let alone a set of lights. So this I like because I can treat this kind of like a trailer. I can plug this into my trailer harness, and there'll be lights on the end of the basket to make it clear that there's something more following my truck. And okay, so it may be a little oversafe for some people out there, but that's just the way I do things. So let's see, it says it's 2-piece construction, bolts together in minutes. Let's find out exactly how that works, huh? I expect the hardest part, the longest part is going to be wiring this stuff up, which is not even that difficult either. Simple trailering wiring. These come with their harnesses. Funny thing I've never really liked about these trailers is they use the white line as the ground. Red is high and black is low, if I remember correctly. Meaning black would be your marker light, red would be your turn brake signal. So I do like these lights there. Same brand as what I put into the bumper here. Only the bumper one definitely has the more recessed reflectors in them, like an LED light bar does, which is pretty cool. But these ones are just just a marker stop turn tail. So again, same brand, so it's done just like it. I can replace them later. So I wire all this stuff in. If one of these breaks, goes out, whatever, I just get another one and you just plug and play with it. Dielectric grease in there, obviously, when I put it together. But yeah. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, here's what comes in it. So 2 parts of the basket, the big hitch piece, a bag of hardware, the hitch pintle, and 2 plates with Reese stickers on them. Oh, and a piece of somewhat usable paper that has something like unto instructions on it in 3 different languages. Which my thought is, if you can't figure out how to bolt this together, maybe you ought to be handing this off to a mechanic or something, because it's really not that difficult here. There's not much to this thing. So, alright, I'm going to get to it. Instructions? Yeah. So, one of the things I was looking at is this wasn't sucking up tight between the 2 pieces. And their instructions say put these plates on, which they go there to tie those 2 together. That's good, that's fine. But sucking it up tight, suck this one up first. These didn't come with washers, but since this is good 3/16" steel, I don't think it's going to need it. So I may need to go and loosen up that one to be able to get it to suck up, because you can see it's still got a gap there. So I think I will loosen up some of those and tighten this one down. So their instructions, you know, they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, tells you do those plates, then do these. I think get those started, then do these, then do the attachment plates. I think that'll keep it tighter. My experience anyway. Your mileage may vary. Alright, there it is, all bolted together. Interesting note is the only washers they provide are for here on the outside of this little connection plate, I guess you might call it. And again, like I said, you know, if that's 3/16 inch steel, those nuts are probably just fine, just up against that. Same thing here, 3/16 inch steel, it's probably just fine. Obviously, our first trip out, you know, when we go camping, put a lot of our camping gear on this thing. I'll retighten every single one of these bolts once we get to the campsite. Now, this kind of shows you, you know, it gives you these little cutouts here, perfectly spaced for your trailer lights. So that's the next part I'm going to put in. My GoPro's not charged, so you're not going to get any action footage on this one, just me as I go, showing you things I see. So far it seems pretty good. I mean, it's basic expanded wire mesh. It's welded down sufficiently enough, I think. I don't see any sharp edges on it. You know, so it's for something that costs, you know, 140 bucks. It seems pretty good. You know, about what you expect for 140 bucks. But yeah, everything seems to be. Yeah, they haven't left any real sharp edges. I did find, you see that file is out because I found a burr in that hole that I had to do out. So if I'm going to have rust, that's where it's going to come from, right? But who knows? This thing, rust, if that happens, then you know I'm pulling out Rust-Oleum. But yeah, let me get to these lights. I'm going to wire these up, do it just like a trailer. You know, that's why I got it's way more wire than I'll need, but the trailer harness, just so I have the pin for it, so I can put that pin in, and it'll hook up rear of my truck just like a trailer would. And you know, that kind of makes sense too, because the additional lights, you know, the ones I've got in the truck, those basically go in op when I've got a trailer, because those are basically in just like a trailer. But I'll be moving my lights back here where the edge of this basket is. So I don't know, that all makes sense to me. Alright, here I go. Okay, so online LED store. I found this stuff on Amazon, like most things. But this little kit they've got for trailer wiring, decent little diagram and everything, but it comes with both ends. I only need this end because I'm basically making this basket like a trailer. And it's split between the left and right sides, which is, you know, that's good. That's nice. And that reminds me why on there white is ground, because on trailer harnesses white is ground. A little counterintuitive, but okay. And obviously brown is your markers, and then your stop tail turn is your colored lights. And it tells you left side's yellow brown, right side is green brown. So if you're doing a trailer, not a bad little kit if you're making your own trailer, but for this I don't really need too much. Pulled out my own split loom and a whole bunch more white wire because that's not long enough. Although that's a lot of freaking wire for this. But you know me, I'm gonna just bundle it up and save it. I'll run what I need for this. So I'll give myself a little bit and then run it through there. Yeah, just split it and zip tie it on along everything and put it where I need it. So good thing about a mesh basket like this is the zip ties, you got plenty of places to do that. So I'm gonna get to it. Alright, it's all wired up. So I ran it in split loom. Oh, that bothers me there, hang on. I may have to wrap that in some tape or something to keep it there, but split loom, zip tied it in here, trying to keep it inside the cage there, but outside on the bottom of the cage there, so the wire's all protected wherever it's at. And I've run it up here with more than enough leg, because now I'm going to mount it on the truck and see exactly where I've got to pull that off of and splice it in. Yeah, we'll see. If I'd have thought about this better, I could have done this from the other end and then maybe done it while I was on the truck, but no, whatever. So I'm going to end up with 2 more splices than I probably could have had I actually planned it a little better. Whatever, it's like trailer wiring. It'll freaking crimp and heat shrink. It'll light up. It's LEDs, there's not a lot of current power, so another crimp in there, oh well. It's just woulda, coulda, shoulda. Ooh, I need to zip tie those ones in a little bit more. Keep those tight in there. But yeah, funny thing was, I was just out and about and saw another Suburban with something similar to this basket with tail lights in it that he had plugged in like a trailer, so I'm not the only one with this thought. Obviously not if they're manufacturing it, but yeah, someone else around here's got one too. His was a GMT 800 though, one of the newer, it'll rust apart in 5 years Suburbans. Alright, I'm going to mount this up to the truck and then figure out the rest of the wiring and be done with it. Then we'll see exactly how it all looks and works. Alright, here it is, fully installed. Lighting works just like a trailer would, in conjunction with your regular marker lights. I've got all of the wiring tucked under the basket. Kind of a curious thing, these baskets have a little spring to them. With expanded wire mesh like this, I like this because then you can get hooks in here. That bounciness, I don't think it'll matter. But it's locked in pretty freaking tight. I did leave quite a bit of tailing on there. And I would suggest 2 reasons why to do that. One, if this ever corrodes, you're going to want to be able to cut back and put a new end on, so you want room to do that. 2, who knows what other truck I might put this on and might need a longer tail to get to wherever. Because if you get, mine is just a tail underneath. I've never put one of the hard mount ones in, but if you find someone that's done a hard mount, you know, the 7 and 4-way plug, and they've got it here in the bumper or here in the bumper, something like that, or underneath is where my other Suburban had it, you'll want the reach of the extra wire. Thought about doing is actually getting a Velcro strap to clamp that in and keep it from getting snagged by anything out and about. But yeah, you can see now that actually gives pretty good marker that you're there and you're not up there with your bumper, so that nobody can complain about, oh, we didn't see you. Especially if you've got a set of running lights right there. Which, speaking of running, there you go. Oh, and you can see, yeah, the 2 outside ones are brighter and the inside ones are at a dimmer light, but plenty of light out there to show that you've got something behind you other than just your bumper. But yeah, I like it. It may stand a little bit farther off of the bumper than I might like, but that's probably okay. Especially considering eventually I want to build a spare tire carry to go right here. The standoff might be okay for me because 12 wide tires, tire carrier, my tire is likely to be out into this space, so that's probably okay. And since it's below the bumper, that's a good thing for me too. But yeah, there it is, a Reese, they call it the Explorer. Hitch mount cargo basket from Reese. It was Explorer something, but any which way. 60 inch by 24 inch, so 5 foot by 2 foot. That gives plenty of room for all the camping gear we'd want to carry. That will not fit in here when every single seat in there is occupied. As you figure, if the seats are occupied, it's another reason I want that tire out of there, because that tire takes up so much space. But you've only got this much room with a Suburban. You know, so you stop right about there, and the rest that's the seating for the 3rd row seat. So if you've got all those seats occupied, you really don't have as much room as you might want or think back there. And so this would be one of your options, either a roof rack or a hitch mounted rack like this. My other thought, deer hunting. I'd be much more happy about putting a deer in here than inside my truck where I might be getting blood in places I'll never be able to clean out. I'd rather have it here. Never mind ticks and things like that. I don't want ticks wandering around inside my truck. I guess that's me being, what's the word, fastidious again? Fastidious? Hyper clean? Whatever. Thought you'd almost have enough room for another light here, but what I might do is, you don't have room for a full circular light because you're bolting those pieces together. but a center circular one would work. Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. And if I was going to add marker lights, I'd be tempted to, you know, put another piece of steel right here and a circle here, so you've got side marker lights on it too. Make it hyper conspicuous that you've got something there. Yeah, who knows, someday maybe. For now, this is probably all I need. I figure not going to use it, but every once in a while when we're going on long road trips or going camping, we'll have this back there for all the stuff we can't fit in there. And when it's not being used, I'm going to take a couple of hooks and put it up in that space. And just hang it on the wall up there, totally out of the way. So yeah, good way to multiply your cargo without actually getting a full-blown trailer. Okay, the other piece of hardware I meant to talk about is this right here. It has this plate, locks onto your hitch and into the hitch pin of the basket, or I suppose anything else if you're doing a regular hitch or whatever you wanted to kill the rattle. I haven't gotten them tightened down all the way. They come with a washer, a lock washer, and just regular grade 8 hardware. But you see, you tighten that all down, it'll keep this from bouncing around and rattling. I figured for $5 or $6 that's probably worth it. The only other accessory I didn't get is a locking hitch pin. That's probably one I'm likely to get, because I'm thinking, all the years in construction I was around people that they would steal stuff not just because they thought it might do you a problem or cause you issues, but just because they could. And not because they thought, you know, maybe there was something in this basket they might want, though I'm thinking, if I've got camping gear in here, that could be true. And say you step inside to a gas station or whatever, and you come out and someone's basically taking your basket and throwing it in their pickup truck and taking off, that might cause problems. So a locking hitch pin, that might be, you know, when I'm driving around, I don't leave my hitch in here. I don't leave things in here. They're all in the truck locked up. But that'd be the reason I'd probably get a locking hitch pin, just to keep this basket a little more secure. But yeah, I think that is worth it. You know, you tighten that down, it'll clamp it all in there and keep it from rattling. We'll see. I'll talk about it when we first take it out on the road and see what it does and doesn't do. But if you've come this far, appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it does you some good. Maybe if you're considering one of these things for your SUV, maybe it shows you what you can do with it. I did like how this one actually raises up. So it's not just straight out like some of them are. So it gives you a little bit more clearance. But hopefully this helps. And appreciate you watching if you come this far. We'll catch you on the next one.